Herkese iyi akşamlar. Nil ben, SRUK İstanbul ofisten. Bugün Abertay Üniversitesi, İskoçya'da bulunan Abertay Üniversitesi'nden temsilcimiz Fin ile e, en Computer Science ve Artificial Intelligence yani yapay zeka bölümleriyle ilgili bir sunumumuz olacak. Bununla ilgili hem Dundee yani İskoçya'daki üniversitemizle ilgili hem bölgeyle ilgili alakalı, okulla alakalı tüm sorularınızı prezentasyon süresince ya da sonrasında da yanından, yandaki chat box'tan sorabilirsiniz. Hello Finn.
Perfect.
Hi.
Great. Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here, and it's great to be presenting and hopefully sharing a little bit about Abertay today.
Okay, we are ready now.
Okay, perfect. Amazing. So, thank you so much for having me today. I hope that I can share some insight into Abertay University, where we are and what you might want to study with us. Today, I am focusing on alternative careers. So careers that some students might not be aware of, and also that match very well with what you're studying now and can be easily achievable from your high school grades as well. So I'll go through that in just a moment. But to start off, I'm covering alternative careers, computer games, hacking, and AI, being artificial intelligence. My name is Finn. I'm the International Officer at Abertay University. I look after quite a few regions, and Turkey falls into that. So I'm delighted to be here, and we can get started. So to tell you a bit about Abertay to start with, we are one of the smallest universities in Scotland, but this is a big thing for us. So it allows us to be much more personal with our students. You'll be getting a much more personal learning experience. Your fellow students and lecturers, it will be easy to get to know them. You won't just be a number in a class. Everyone will know your name, and it's much easier to make friends, which is what our international students tell us all the time. It's very easy for them to settle and integrate. The good thing is that because we are a small university, our campus is very compact. Big buildings, huge amount of tech and incredible facilities on campus, but we are the sum total of 3 huge buildings very close together. So it means that you're never late to class, which is also really good. And the other side of that is that because we're small, we do a specialized group of degree subjects, mainly focusing on business and STEM. So that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I'm going to talk to you about one of our schools today, which is usually quite surprising, quite exciting, and usually gets quite a lot of interest from our students abroad as well. So I'll go into that in just a few slides' time. Overall, in the last few years, we have been ranked number 1 in Europe for our video games degrees. We're also top in the UK, and we're recognised top 15 worldwide for these. We're also the UK University of the Year for teaching quality. This was ranked 2 years ago, and we've upheld this. So again, even though we're small, we do perform exceptionally well, and our students are very happy to study with us and find if you're an undergrad student, obviously 4 years with us, or if you're a master's student, 1 year with us. Really enjoyable and exciting to be there. So we are located in Dundee. Now, Dundee is in Scotland, which is north of the UK, and I've used a big green arrow to show you exactly where we are. So we're on that east coast, which is the warmer, calmer, and sunnier side to Scotland, which is great. Obviously, we're not quite as warm as the wonderful Turkey, but we do have some cold spells. However, Dundee is the sunniest city in Scotland, so we clock up the most amount of sunshine hours, which is really nice. We are about an hour and a half away from Edinburgh, Glasgow, and Aberdeen, the 3 largest cities in Scotland, and we're about a 6-hour train journey or a 1.5-hour flight from London. You can see it just down the bottom of the UK there. So just to give you some geographical idea of where we're located, we have a city centre campus, meaning that no matter where you are on campus, it's only 2 or 3 minutes into the heart of the city. So really easy to see your friends after class or nip into town if you need to do any shopping or pick up any supplies. We are not out of the city. We are very much in the heart of it, which our students really, really love. It's very flexible, very easy to get around. A lot of the areas where we're located are also traffic calmed areas, so pedestrianized, very safe, no high-speed cars going around. So again, you can relax and hang out and study, just knowing that you're in a good place. All of our halls of residence are very close to campus, within walking distance. Some you can actually see from our campus, which is awesome, but some are just 1 or 2 streets away, a little bit further, but all are within a 10-minute walk into our campus for your classes. We are a very affordable city, so I know that the cost of living increasing has been in the news, and it's definitely hitting all of us quite hard across the world. But Dundee's managed to retain quite an affordable cost of living overall. So even eating out and socializing at night on the weekends with your friends, it's not going to break the bank, and it's going to be still a wonderful student experience on a budget if that's your intention as well. We have a fantastic arts and nightlife and foodie scene in Dundee. So even though we're a small city, we do have a very, very broad provision of cuisines, I suppose, from all over the world. We also cater to halal, we cater to vegan, vegetarian, and obviously kosher as well. So depending on what your dietary requirements are, it's all absolutely catered for in Dundee. You might notice that because we're on the coast, we are very easily accessible to all of the beaches, the seaside, and also into the Highlands and the countryside of Scotland, which sometimes you just need to get out of the city. You want to break from studying, you want a little bit of a break from all of the busyness. It's very easy to get out into the Highlands and also go for really beautiful walks or bicycle rides as well. So all of that is on your doorstep. On top of that, another accolade that Dundee has is that we are the UNESCO City of Design, and that is a worldwide title. We're the only UK city to have this, and it's due to a number of key developments that have happened on our waterfront, mainly being the only V&A museum outside of London. So that's pretty cool. We've had an influx of investment, mainly being a £1 billion waterfront development, which houses that V&A Dundee Museum and our RRS Discovery, which is a beautiful, huge ship right on our waterfront that's permanently housed there. On top of this, if you are coming to Scotland and you are coming to Dundee, you will notice that there is a rich diversity in culture and also quite a vibrant community. So whatever your personal interests are, whatever your religious inclinations are, there's a group for you, there's a place for you, and we would love to welcome you to Dundee and Scotland as well. So that's a bit about where you'll be studying. So I'm going to talk about who's going to be teaching you. And ultimately, you are learning from the best of the best in these subject areas and wider areas that we offer in science and business. As I'm focusing on gaming and hacking and AI today, I'm just going to give you an introduction to a few people that I find quite inspiring and ultimately our students just are absolutely in awe of. So Dr. Natalie Cool is the head of cybersecurity. She runs a number of current industry-led conferences, and also she sits on many different problem-solving tackle boards for current ethical hacking and cybersecurity alerts. So this means that she can bring those projects back onto campus and our students learn directly from what's happening in the industry today. Now, cybersecurity affects every single part of life, even just logging onto your phone, to uploading your transcripts to an application, to ordering food online for a takeaway. Every single point of our life pretty much has cybersecurity in it. And within that, there is weakness. So we teach two different sides of those of that coin, ethical hacking and cybersecurity, and I'll tell you more about those in a moment. So just to reiterate, Dr. Natalie Cool is an industry expert as well as an academic on campus. Professor Joseph Delap is an incredible lecturer. He is a professor of games research. So he has had an amazing career over in America and in the East as well. And this has really positioned him in a way that he can still look at the most advanced techniques and research initiatives, but he comes from a level of practice where he's probably actually tried it before. So it's really fun for our students to bounce ideas off of this professor and ultimately dig into his expertise in order to make their game even better, and also in order to make it the most advanced and sometimes meaningful and well-hitting within the industry. Professor Gordon Brown is a lecturer in games and arts. So he is an incredibly creative and talented person, really bringing that visual aspect to gaming to life, incorporating many different technical, artistic talents, along with all of that digital overlay, animation, stop-start videography, concept design, user interface design as well. Really just building up our students, giving them that confidence and that freedom to be their creative selves. So that's just a really quick run through. We have a much bigger team, but I wanted you to see some of the people that you could potentially be taught by if you join us at Abertay. So now to look at our actual courses that we offer, and I'm going to start with computer games. So computer games is offered by a number of universities, but we were actually the first university in the world to offer a computer games degree. More than that, we offer 4 individual subject focuses within gaming. So if you imagine how a computer game is built, not only from the coding, the programming, and very unique and specific software generation, right through to sound, music, imagery, art, and ultimately the animation of the game. So we've created these 4 gaming focus degrees to pick out those key components, and that's what you can see in front of you here. So computer games technology, it's our most intricate and technical degree. It focuses on games programming, graphics and AI, right through to the hardware and procedural generation. Now, maths is an essential requirement for this, and maths is the essential requirement because maths is the language of coding and programming. So it's going to be essential that you like maths because you're going to be continuing with it if you join this degree. Our next one is computer game applications development. So this is another step in advancement of creating the game. So we start with computer games technology, and then our applications development specialist students will look at how to integrate that and how to network program that onto various different interfaces. How is someone going to play that game? How does it need to be adapted for different consoles? Online? Is it a cloud engine game? They also do dig into AI for games processing, and becoming quite adept in the use of industry standard game engines and technology, along with things that aren't even released yet into the market. So really you get to play with tools that are very expensive, very shiny, and also very advanced. Into our more creative side, so we have a Bachelor's of Arts with honours in computer arts. So this is effectively a fine arts degree with an overlay of all the creative media, such as those things I mentioned before: 3D modelling, animation, character design, and concept development, along with some really unique and cool procedural generation with different technologies as well. So really seeing your creative your creative ideas come to life. And the other option that we have, which doesn't have a specialism, looks at the bigger picture of creating a video game, and that is game design and production. So this is for somebody who loves gaming and wants to look at it from a management perspective, from a producer perspective, really looking at that initial idea and concept and taking it right through to all these different areas we've already discussed, to testing, to launch and review, ultimately into the sales industry as well, and then reviewing this and potentially making a second version. So ultimately, this is someone who can collaborate with all of the technical expertise that we teach in our other degrees, bring them together and look at the overview and a bigger understanding of how this comes together. So those are the 4 areas that we teach within games. They all reach out to different students, and you might be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm not very creative. but I love maths. Great. Maybe the top two would be a good idea for you to look into. Or I don't like maths at all, but I love art. Well, then you've got an option there as well. So from the technical to the creative, it kind of ticks all the boxes. Just to reiterate, our degree length in Scotland is 4 years long. So when I reference a 4-year program, it's your undergraduate degree. Okay, so our other 2 degrees that I wanted to discuss at undergraduate level is in the ethical hacking and cybersecurity realm. So we have 2 separate degrees here, just noted at the top there, both Bachelors of Science with honours in cybersecurity or ethical hacking. And you might be thinking, Finn, I don't know what the difference is. So let me tell you, cybersecurity is for students who want to make something perfect. They want to build up something that has never been done before. They want to problem solve before the problem has arisen. So basically discounting all of the problems that cybersecurity faces today and building something perfect. Okay, using the latest technology, of course, the best facilities and advanced technique as well. Ethical hacking is about breaking systems. So if you think one is about building perfect systems, ethical hacking is about breaking them. And the way that this works is that an ethical hacker, I've also got some job titles in another slide to give you an idea of the jobs you can get, but an ethical hacker will work with companies to break their system before an actual hacker does. So it's hacking with permission, with the permission of the company, and basically reporting back any weaknesses or issues that you think actually that could be exploited by somebody who would want to launch a malicious attack on the company or the website or the program. So really those 2 industry options are quite different again. So you can see that we're giving you 2 different options within this area. We are also the first university in the world to offer an ethical hacking degree. We started this at the beginning of the 2000s, and it's just taken on leaps and bounds from there. We are the UK Cybersecurity Centre of Excellence that's located on our campus, and our students are able to get involved in the research and development that's happening there. There's a huge demand for these graduates as it's a highly skilled area, and salaries are starting from very nice amounts, very high amounts, even just at a graduate level. So it's definitely something to consider if you're really wanting to earn quite highly and get something quite bespoke and unique in a career. Our students also lead the largest information security conference in Scotland, and it's also student-led. So it's also, the largest student-led conference in Europe. And you would be involved in this if you get involved in these degrees. We also have a hack lab. So the hack lab is a isolated reconfigurable network, and it's a dedicated internet connection. So before this existed, about 10 years ago, there was a very well-known case within the university where one of our students, unfortunately, tested something that wasn't quite perfect and ended up releasing quite a malicious virus in the university, hence why we now have a completely reconfigurable network. So not only do we teach students and let them make mistakes, you've got to try before you can really understand things. So this allows students to really push the boat out, try things, make those mistakes, and then know how to perfect them, and also how to reconfigure a network. It always helps. So along with that, just to let you know that across all of our degrees, I am talking about what you're going to learn and how you're going to learn that. But ultimately, what we prepare students for is the career. So we have this practical real-term projects happening, which allows students to replicate how it would be in a business environment. So when you're actually working in your graduate career. So this is really something we excel upon, and you will absolutely be taught and you'll be in a safe environment for that. But you get a lot of opportunity to practice and work on real-time projects and real world projects as well. So moving on from that, just wanted to focus on some of the areas of gaming. Now I've selected a number of pictures here. A couple are from our open days, a couple are from our game expo, a couple are of our our cybersecurity students, and you can also see some of the locations in our university and some of the game art that's been created. And overall, our student satisfaction levels have been top 10 in the UK for the last 4 years. So we're super, super excited that our own students are, really enjoying being here and ultimately reviewing that and feeding it back to these surveys that come out. So we're very, very proud to be able to be small but mighty. So the postgraduate opportunities that we have, now I wasn't sure if we would have undergraduate students or postgrad, so I have included them. I'm really sorry if we're only looking at undergrad or postgrad, but I thought both would be best. But we have 4 different degrees for you to consider at postgraduate level. So this is after you've completed your bachelor's. Maybe you've done a year or 2 working and you want to come back, or maybe you're at that point already and you want to excel your career and gain a master's in this area. So we have the Masters in Computer Games Technology. This grows from what we study at bachelor level. It takes the next level, the next complexity. It really starts to work on very, very intricate and senior level game experts for this. So it's something that's quite interesting and definitely piques the interest of a couple of gaming professionals we have around the world. The professional masters in games development is for somebody who's worked explicitly in a gaming company and they've had about 2 or 3 years experience and they're looking for that next level into a supervisory role or a director's role. So this is really taking that professional level further. We have a Masters of Ethical Hacking and Cybersecurity. This is top 15 worldwide, ranked very, very highly. We compete with the likes of California, the likes of Japan, China, and Germany in their expansion and understanding of cybersecurity. The last one we have is a Master's in Applied Artificial Intelligence and User Experience. So exceptionally advanced, all different areas of artificial intelligence and user experience. But what's quite different about our degree is that we have a level of psychology built in. Ultimately, artificial intelligence is mimicking the biological response and decision of humans, and how to incorporate this into various different technology, various different decisions to better inform AI. Now, I'm sure we've all heard of the likes of ChatGPT, various other AI generators that are currently making headlines worldwide. Now, that is because something has been built that is very, very capable. And what this does is it brings it back to that human decision and that ability to replicate that. So yeah, really interesting, something that might pique some of your interests, but definitely one to keep an eye on. So I wanted to run through a couple of the entry requirements. Now, again, I have covered as much as I can. And if you're studying something different, please drop a comment in and I can either look it up for you and send it through to SI UK, or we can discuss it at a more complex level at another time. So we accept academic qualifications from across the world, but I have just listed what I feel would be the top ones for Turkey and for the area that we're ultimately presenting to today. So students studying any of the first 3, I'm not going to try and pronounce them because I wouldn't want to get it wrong, but I understand that these are taught and they're very popular within Turkish schools. So you'll be considered for year 1 entry where you have received 75% or above and have 75% in the essential subject. So for example, computer arts, you'd need to have art or photography or digital art. For computer games technology and computer games applications development and cybersecurity, you would need maths. So there's just that essential subject to look at specifically for each degree. If you're doing the high school diploma that's different to those top 3 that we were looking at just there, we would need you to have a minimum of 55% plus a foundation course or 1 year of a university degree. And that would again need to be in the relevant subject at either 2.9 GPA or 55%, whatever the grades are set as in that university. If you're studying the US diploma, so in an American curriculum school, we need a GPA of 3.0 with an 1100 in SATs, and maths you must pass at 600 for those more complex courses that we offer. We also accept APs as well, which is 3 of them at a 443. Again, one would need to be maths, potentially a science, again, depending on the degree you want to do. We also accept the IB, so for anybody studying at an international school, 30 points minimum, essential criteria, and subject to S5 or H4. Again, I've listed some of the subjects that you might need to keep an eye on and have included at your final year. And of course, we do accept A-levels being a UK curriculum and location. So we need a BBC overall, so 3 grades at a B, B, and a C, with essential subject either maths, computer science, IT or physics, or art for computer arts. Computer arts, the only extra thing we require for them for applications from those students is a portfolio of art. So 10 pieces, mixed media, some traditional and some more digital. So you could include some sketching, some painting work, some digital work, photography, a really good mix. For our postgraduate entry, we would need you to have a bachelor degree with at least a 2.5 GPA minimum or 65%, again, depending on which criteria they follow, in a relevant subject. You would also need to have a research proposal in there. So something where you have done independent research like an honours degree or an honours project. That's what we're looking for in addition to your grade. We will accept relevant industry experience, especially when we're talking about some of those masters that are professionally focused. So they're assessed on a case-by-case basis. We would require you to update a resume or a CV, and a minimum of 2 years experience is expected. Please note here that our master's level degrees are highly technical, and the experience and academic achievements are highly scrutinized to ensure that students have the necessary skills to keep up with the pace of learning. So it's within our best interest to make sure that you do really well, and that's where we'll be very strict on those entry requirements to make sure we can support you fully. Depending on where you've studied, you may need to submit an English language test such as IELTS or PTE, TOEFL, Pearson, Language Cert, Cambridge. The only ones we don't accept are Duolingo and Password, so they are not accepted. We accept, I think there's about 26 in total, so the link is just on the presentation. It's also on our website. It's an equivalent of the IELTS being a 6.0 with no band less than 5.5 for all of the degrees that I've discussed today. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an indication as to what we're looking for when you apply. I thought I would talk a little bit about the examples of the students that we've had who have come through our university and gone on to work in incredible positions across the world. And I've just chosen 3 completely at random. But Isabella Wang has been very highly regarded in her career after leaving Abertay. She works for Fun Plus Games and she is a chief designer. Rajesh Samuel is still in the UK with Pong Studios, which is another well-known game producer company, and he's a game developer. And then we have our game designer at Naughty Dog, again, really popular games company. Some of you may know that, and that's Michael Barkley. They've all studied with us in the last 10 years. So it means that they've joined in the last 10 years and they've left us in the last couple of years after they've completed. Some of them have joined us from master's level or undergraduate. So again, those opportunities, you don't have to have a master's to get really far. However, the master's can help you progress if you want to. We do have an alumni page with loads of testimonials, videos, quotes and interview scripts as well from our alumni. So you can really get a feeling of how they have experienced their time at Abertay, and ultimately if it's something that you think, I think I can get on with that, I think that sounds really good, that might be something you want to look into as well. So to finish off with, I wanted to show you the types of careers that you can have. So I showed you some of our alumni, but these are actually further alumni testimonial data that we have just to really show you where we have our alumni across the world. So for real roles from computer arts graduates, we have UI UX designer at Rockstar Games, again, very well-known games company. We have a technical designer at Rare, and you could also consider being a digital producer at the V&A Dundee, which is a museum in Dundee. From real roles from our computer games technology and computer games applications development, those graduates have gone on to be principal software engineers at Codeplay, lead VFX and graphic engine programmer at Creative Assembly, or an AI engineer at Google DeepMind. So again, really impressive. And we're so proud to have alumni across all of these incredible degree areas and career areas. For examples of what you could do after being in our ethical hacking or cybersecurity degree, something like a penetration tester at GCHQ is one of our most popular graduate positions that our students go to. Also principal security consultant at Synopsys, that's a cybersecurity and computing company, and then a systems analyst at Dell Secure Works. So again, just really showing how broad these degrees can take you. Even if you're thinking of going into something gaming related, you might be quite surprised to see how many different areas these degrees could take you in, out with those kind of really obvious industries. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing in a moment, but I will just leave my email up there for anything that you need in terms of questions. The support that you have in terms of applications will absolutely be from the SI UK team that are hosting this today. So they are the experts on your application, where to put it, how to prepare it, what to include. But if you have any questions about Abertay or anything that you want to know a little bit more about, please do email me. I'd be very happy to supply more information. I'm also really good at tackling any tricky questions, or if you have anything just completely out of the blue that's on your mind. So I've left my email address up there. That's f.hackwood@abertay.ac.uk, and that will come straight through to me. So I will stop sharing just at the moment. And
thank you.
Yeah, so I hope that was okay.
Thank you so much for this great explanations and the programs. And I think the one with the ethical hacking.
Yes.
I am really interested in this program, and if I were younger, then I would have studied, this program.
Oh,
Wow,
you can
I'm so
join us
jealous now.
at any time. Yeah, you can join us at any time, though.
Yeah, exactly. Then I will think about it. Then.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure, for
And
sure.
the other thing you just mentioned, I'm really surprised that the integration psychology with the content of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
It's a miracle, This is just, I don't know, really,
Yeah,
really interesting. Yes.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, wow. Maybe we can jump to the QA session. I think that there are a few questions waiting for
Yes.
your reply. Okay, we can start from the top. Give me some time. Okay, the first one is why the university education is 4 years in Scotland. Yes, in England it's 3 years, and Scotland
Yes.
4 years. Why?
Yes, so it doesn't influence international students at all. It's basically because students in Scotland at high school level finish school a year early. So the UK overall didn't want our graduates entering the career industry a year early, so they made Scottish universities have 4-year degrees. Again, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, doesn't make sense to me. However, if you're looking for a super fast degree, I completely understand the need for a 3-year one. But with that extra year, some students actually really come into themselves with that extra year to study, that extra year of support, the extra year to cover all of your modules and to get involved in all of those projects. So even though it's an extra year, you actually get the value of that as well. So the way that we do support this is actually with a scholarship. So it shouldn't actually cost you much more than doing a 3-year degree. So we take off 4 years. Each year we take off £3,000. So that equates to almost a year free. So cost-wise, we try to balance that out and make it a little bit more easy on the decision. So it's purely your time. It's purely you spending another year up in Scotland with us, and hopefully the rest of your career. But of course, there's the whole world to apply to. So completely valid question. We do get asked it a lot, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's 4 years. If you wanted to finish after 3 years, you would still get a bachelor's, but you wouldn't have the honours year. So you could have a 3-year bachelor's. The 4-year is a bachelor's with honours. So there's value in that 4th year, like I mentioned.
Okay. By the way, could you please give us more details about your scholarship? opportunities? And
Yeah, sure. So we have a scholarship for various areas of the world. Turkey falls under the Middle East and Central Asia type of area. We try to not include it in Europe because it can be a bit different. It's just a little bit more regional. But we have a scholarship for students from this area of £3,000 per year. So for undergraduate students, that's for 4 years. So £3,000 for every single year you study with us. And also for our taught masters, that's for 1 year. So you still get that £3,000 off your 1 year tuition fee. Tuition fees are within the realm of around £15,000 to £17,000 per year, depending on what you're studying, depending on the course. But all of the ones that I've mentioned, undergrad is 15,500. Postgrad is 17,000. So that £3,000 is automatically taken off before you even start classes. So you don't have to pay that amount to get a refund. It's just taken off straight away. There's no application. The application to study with us is the one that we use for your scholarship. So if you get an offer, you're going to get the scholarship. So
that's automatic scholarship then.
Yes. As long as you get an offer, you meet all of the entry requirements, absolutely, you will get the scholarship. Yes.
Okay, it's very good to hear that, the £3,000 per year.
Yes, for sure. And it doesn't change.
£9,000 in total. So yeah, it's
12.
quite nice.
So it's 12,000. Yeah.
How about the living cost, by the way, in Dundee? I think it's much more cheaper than living in London.
Yes.
I personally know that I lived in London for 1 year, and I know the big gap between the small cities and London.
Yes,
so
there's a big difference. Absolutely. So the UKVI recommend that you have about £9,000 per year for your accommodation, your socializing, food, living costs, everything out with the tuition fee. So that specifically is quite generous for Dundee. You will have a very nice place. You'll be able to go out quite a lot. However, our students are much more savvy. So what we would probably say is that you'll not spend nearly this much. There is a slight increase happening at the moment, but it hasn't hit Dundee very hard at all. I live in Dundee and I haven't been greatly affected by things rocketing. It's actually been okay. There's lots of options and discounts for students as well. So loads of discounts on students, like student night at various different restaurants, different cafes. There's nightlife that's student welcoming as well, very heavily discounted entry fees, that type of thing, if you're going to a nightclub or something like that. There's also loads of free things to do. So really, Dundee's very welcoming and very affordable for that. Usually all of our, in all cases, all of our accommodation are bills included. So whatever you're budgeting for, that one price that you're looking at for your room is everything included: gas, electricity, internet, everything. So all you need to do is go and fill your fridge and cupboards with food. So you don't need to worry about adding on even more bills. It just means that it's really easy for students to come over, pay one amount, and then that's it, done. They can just get on with their studies and socializing as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we can take the second question. I finished chemistry engineering in Istanbul Technical University with 2.67 GPA, but I have a long experience in computer field. So can I do any not L, I think he or she meant artificial intelligence master program?
Yes, so absolutely. We accept students from the scientific background, from the computing background, and the engineering background into AI. So you would absolutely be welcomed in. The fact that you also have a slightly higher GPA is great, and you have experience in computing, so the technical side hopefully won't faze you. We would absolutely welcome your application. And I would just ask that you include your CV or resume so that we can really understand what you've been doing in the computing field. This will greatly help your application. So yes, absolutely.
Okay. How about the people who are coming from the other education background, like maybe they study psychology or business, but they had a very long work experience in this field. So would you still accept them?
Yeah, it really depends what they've been doing. If they've been working as something like a business manager at a computing firm, no, because that's more people focused than technical focused. But if
Yeah.
somebody who has worked in a psychology, has done something to do with AI profiling or trying to understand decision making on a psychological level, this could be something that we consider. It's not the typical way into this degree, so I wouldn't be able to say yes or no completely. But I would say that if you have a profile like this, we would definitely like to see it and really look into how that could work. Ultimately, if it's just not the right way in, because the AI side still is the main component, they would have to have that science and technical background as well. It might be a no, but we would definitely like to consider it and have a look and see if a profile like that is interested from a student.
Okay. So, how are the costs for like? Actually, we already talked about it, but maybe you can repeat. How are the costs for life, and how much money do I need?
So
Yeah.
the cost for living, like we mentioned before, the UKVI do recommend that you have £9,000, and that's what they're going to ask you to prepare. Now, what you actually spend might be a lot less, but if you add the tuition fee and the living costs together per year with that scholarship deducted, again, depending on the course that you're studying, it's around 24 to 25,000 per year. So this would include your 12.5 to £14,000 tuition fee, plus your £9,000 per year. That's how it's coming into. So that's what you'll be asked to prepare for when you apply for your visa. Now, like I said, that could go quite far, but you're still going to need to prepare to have that amount. And that's something that's advised by the UK government. So it's not something that we can really override. The great thing is that we're not going to ask you to provide any more. So that's always quite nice. But definitely prepare to have a little bit of leeway, a little bit of wiggle room just in case. But yeah, that should be all you need.
Okay. The other one is please give information about your business programs and career alternatives.
Okay.
Yeah. In this case.
Yeah, I mean, today's session was just on the alternative careers in this
Complete.
area.
Yes.
We have a business school with about 24 different business degrees. This starts from accounting and finance right through to marketing, digital marketing, business management, people management, events management. We also have law as well. We also do criminology and social science, all sits within that business school. So it's quite a substantial offering in business. The career alternatives for that, you could do anything. Business is such a massive industry worldwide that really, whatever you're interested in, we would support you moving into that. They're still 4-year degrees and you still have your honours project. And the honours project is a really unique way to differentiate yourself within the graduate market, to look into something more bespoke or more specific that you could use within your career or build upon. So yeah, we definitely have lots of options for you. I didn't catch if this was undergrad. So those 24 degree options are at undergrad. And at masters, we have a master's in accounting and finance, which is the SEMA Gateway. That's a professionally acknowledged degree. We have digital marketing and events management. And then we also have a global MBA. Completely forgot that one for a moment. So the global MBA is for professionals who have already been in work at a supervisory level and they want to come back and move up to something like director or something like business partner, that type of thing. So that's for a more advanced student, probably quite mature, probably with a good number of years under their resume for supervisory and project leading. So those are our 3 at master's level, but lots of options at undergrad.
Okay. Thank you. The next one is, do I have to enter the university exam in Turkey to study in your school? Right.
So
Yeah. Yes.
we don't have any university exams. So whatever you're studying currently, so your high school or if you're in university already, whatever you're currently doing is all we ask you to complete. So once you have your final grade from your studies now, that's it. The only extra thing potentially might be the English language, but we could that would be individual basis depending on where you're studying. We don't have any additional exams for our international students.
Yeah. As you may know that we have a national university exam every year. It takes,
Okay.
it will be conducted. It is conducted every
Yes.
year in June.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think they are trying
Is
to
that
ask that. Yeah.
okay?
So but
Okay.
yeah. They don't need to take this exam. They just need to provide their GPA, transcript,
Yes.
diploma, and personal statement, which is the most important thing. That
Yes.
why they want to study in Abertay and why they want to study this program, what their career plan is, and
Yes.
blah blah. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is the other case. Actually, we may talk about it later on.
Sure.
What else? The other question is, I heard that we can't bring family members for the master program from the beginning of 2024. Please give more information.
Yeah, so this is something that's only come out at the end of last week, and we're in the same position as you. We don't have much information yet. We're yet to find out how the UK government are going to implement this, but it does sound like from January 2024, there will be a heavy restriction on dependents coming with you. So it's a really unfortunate decision. It's not something that we wanted to ever see happen, but this has come from a government-led decision. So currently we don't have any information, but when we do, I have full confidence that SIUK will also be able to emanate that information out and also support you if you had any questions. We'll also be putting out news and bulletins from when we have that kind of information. It does sound like it's going to happen. So yeah, it might just be something you need to consider, and I'm really sorry if that affects your studies in the UK. It's really sad. It's not something that we didn't think it would happen, and we didn't think it would happen this quickly. So the only reason that we don't have any information is because the decision has just come out. So hopefully in the next few weeks or even in a month, we might know a bit more, and we can share information with students and with applicants and whoever's interested once that comes out. To be honest, once the UKVI and the UK government release this, everyone will know. So it will probably be with you the same time it's with me. So yeah, just keep an eye on the news, keep an eye on the UKVI website, and that will be a bit more specific about what you can expect and how things are going to work from then on.
Okay. Then the next one is, okay, the personal statement. Somebody is asking about the personal statement.
Great.
What should I write in the personal statement for computer games program?
Okay. Sure. So great question. This is really something that I do answer quite a lot. So in a personal statement, we would want to know what your motivation is for studying this particular degree, where your interest lies, if you've done any playing about with games before. Now, this could be that your favorite game is, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto, Fortnite, whatever you want to put down. But more than that, if you've looked at YouTube tutorials about how to start making your own game, if you've gone onto any of the apps to start creating your dot matrix game, they're quite cool, they're quite fun. I've done it myself. I think Google had one on their logo a few months back. You could like put in the blocks and then you run the character over them. So really it's about bringing out that passion that's separate to your school grades, it's separate to your personal information, and it's really digging into where your interests lie. Probably as much information as you want to share, but keeping it relevant to computer games, keeping it relevant to, if you're very artistic, then you want to include what you love about art and also how you think that this is going to translate well to computer games. Or if you're on that programming and coding side, you know, what you really enjoy about it, what challenges you in school, what do you love about maths that really makes you want to work in this industry. So you'll probably have your own ideas of what your experience is, and if you've tried anything or gone along to any speeches or seminars from a gaming company potentially. There's loads on YouTube. There's lots happening over the different conferences and Gamescom. So yeah, see if you can think of something that you already are interested in and put those in. Ultimately, all I say is keep it relevant and keep it games focused, and then that will help.
Okay. By the way, how many words should they write as a maximum?
Maximum, we don't really have a maximum. I would say 1 page minimum in 12 font, basically.
12
I think for UCAS, they do have something a bit more stringent, such as 1,200 words minimum or something, or
I
maximum.
think 4,000 characters.
That's
They
it.
limit with the 4,000 characters.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So our applications also go through UCAS, so that would be dictated by the application.
Yeah, it should be. It is must. Yes,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you ask for portfolios for the design programs? I mean, maybe computer design programs. If yes, how can we prepare that?
Sure. So once you apply, your offer letter will come through, and one of the conditions will be to submit a portfolio of art. This is for the computer arts program. I mentioned it in my presentation, but it's 10 pieces of mixed media. So we want to see some natural talents such as sketching, drawing, life drawing, or object-oriented drawing, and also something in digital, maybe photography, maybe graphic design, maybe something in Photoshop that's quite, amazing. But ultimately, it's your work. You will know what you want to include. Please don't put 10 sketches in, or 10 photographs, or 10 graphic designs. Please make sure that we see a good mix of your talent. So you submit this after you've submitted your application. So our admissions team will keep you informed of everything you need to include and how. It's a digital portfolio, so it would be something like a series of PDFs, or something that's in a file or folder that we can access easily. So pretty much any way that you want to submit it, you're welcome to do that.
Okay. The next one is, you already answered that. Actually, do you accept Duolingo? No.
Nope.
But alternatively, it is IELTS, TOEFL, PT, Pearson.
Yes.
These
Yep.
exams also.
All
How
of
about
them.
yes? How about professional programs then? If they don't have enough, score enough
Mhm.
to enter the program directly. So, how about
Yeah,
professional?
we used to offer them, but due to COVID, and many, many more IELTS offices and different options to test online opened up. So we actually haven't needed to run them for 4 years. Because of the ease of access of IELTS and TOEFL and PTE and Language Cert and Cambridge Online, we haven't actually needed to run these again. So it's not something that we currently offer, because also the IELTS 6.0 is a pretty standard entry, and we would need students to achieve this as part of their application. They don't need to have done the test before they apply. Obviously, once they get their offer, they will need to then do the test and
The
submit
conditional
that.
offer, and yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So they don't necessarily need to. I know that it is a cost. I completely understand that, but they could wait until they had an offer and then do it. So they know at least that they've got the offer in place, and they just need to get the 6. And again, that's the same for scores from other. There is equivalent. It's across the board, really. The only thing that we would need is obviously it to be the UKVI registered one, or an academic level. So not, for example, Language Cert, Family and Friends, or PTE online, Family and Friends. It would have to be the academic UKVI one. Yeah.
Okay. How about the deadline, for them to meet the conditions?
Yeah, so for September, the deadline for conditions is the end of June. So applications are still open for undergrad and postgrad until the end of about the 26th of June. And then at the very end of June is to complete the conditions. So obviously, we do still need to have the timeline in place. So it's been open for a while. But if a student is ready and they've got everything together, then it will be fine. For those students applying late in June, they would have to be moving quite quickly to complete those conditions and get everything done in time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then. Thank you. And it seems the last question is, how can we go to London from Dundee? Yeah.
So it's very easy to get from London to Dundee, but it's quite far. So during term time, we would need you to be living in Dundee and located within a good amount of distance, quite close to the university. But you're welcome to visit London on holidays or weekends, or if you have family there. You can fly, you can get a bus, or you can get a train. The train is probably the most popular option. It takes about 6 hours. It's direct, or you might need to change Edinburgh. It's very easy, very big train station there, and it's a lovely journey down. Obviously, it is quicker to fly, but potentially more expensive, or a little bit more, having to go to the airport and all of that. Whereas a train, you can just jump on in Dundee and go straight down to King's Cross. So I would just mention here that we would need you to be living in Scotland, but you can visit London. I hope that was okay. But it's very easy to go down. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all this information and for your time.
Of course.
And yeah, it is time to close the presentation. Please let me, do that in Turkish.
Sure, no
And
problem.
thank you again. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Evet arkadaşlar, katılımınız için çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Bugün İskoçya'da bulunan Abertay Üniversitemizin işte bu bilgisayar oyunları ve yapay zeka bölümleri üzerine daha çok konuştuk. Sorularımız oldu. Bölgeyle ilgili, bölümlerle ilgili daha detaylı olarak giriş koşullarıyla ilgili, burslarla ilgili onları da cevapladık. Fin mail adresini az önce sizinle paylaştı ama ekstra sorularınız olursa yine bu okulla Birleşik Krallık'taki genel eğitimlerle alakalı biz her zaman buradayız. Bizimle istediğiniz zaman iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Herkese tekrardan katılımları için teşekkür ediyorum. İyi akşamlar.